Let me ask you a question that keeps me up at night. If we were designed from the very beginning to be creators, if God literally hardwired us with authority and a mission to build, why does it feel so ambiguous and heavy? Why does innovation, something that should be as natural to us as breathing, come with this deep, nagging sense of anxiety? Why do we second-guess every line of code, every business decision, and every breakthrough? I know you've felt it. You're working on something that could genuinely help people. Maybe it's an AI model to speed up medical research, or a platform to help your community connect. But then there's that voice, that whisper in the back of your mind. Am I playing God? Is this dangerous? What if I'm building something that destroys instead of heals? Does that weight feel familiar? That friction? That internal resistance? It didn't come from your creator. So where did it come from? And more importantly, how do we get rid of it so we can get back to that creative ease we were actually designed for? Today, we're going back to the garden. Not just for a history lesson, but to look at a blueprint of exactly how doubt enters our system and corrodes our potential from the inside out. I'm going to show you how the same pattern that broke our relationship with creation is playing out right now in research labs, boardrooms, and maybe even in your own office. Let's look at what actually happened in Eden. Most of us think the fall was just about eating a piece of fruit, but that's missing the entire mechanism. Genesis 3 is actually a manual on how to crash a human operating system. The serpent doesn't start with an attack. He starts with a question. Genesis 3:1. Did God really say? Notice the strategy. He isn't offering facts yet. He's planting doubt about the original design. Then he makes his real move. Genesis 3:4-5. You will not certainly die. You will be like God, knowing good and evil. This is the weapon, and it's one you likely feel every day. Identity doubt. The serpent wasn't offering Adam and Eve something they lacked. He was telling them they were incomplete. He was saying, God is holding out on you. You're not enough as you are. You need to take this power to prove you're worthy. Do you see the shift? Before that whisper, Adam and Eve had complete belief in their design. They had dominion. They cultivated the garden without friction because they didn't doubt their authority. But the moment they believed they were less than, they moved from, I create because I'm made in God's image, to, I have to grasp for power to prove I matter. Doubt leads to grasping. Grasping leads to control, and control always leads to friction. The existential weight of 2026. We see this exact pattern playing out today. Have you noticed the tone of the conversations around AI lately? At big global events like Davos, the air is thick with existential dread. The loudest question isn't, how can we help? It's, how do we stop ourselves from destroying everything? When we stay stuck in that fear, we are actually operating from the serpent's premise, that we are separate from God and trying to steal power that isn't ours. But if God's very first identity is creator, and you are made in his image, then you aren't playing God. You are fulfilling your divine design. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, wrote a fascinating piece called Machines of Loving Grace. He talks about a great transition where AI could lead to a massive leap in curing diseases and expanding human capability. That sounds a lot like subduing the earth to me, doesn't it? But even in the tech world, there's this tension. How do we keep these machines of loving grace aligned with what is good? I want to suggest to you that alignment doesn't just come from better code. It comes from the source of the person writing the code. The grasping in your work. The strategy hasn't changed in thousands of years. The whisper is still the same. Are you sure you're enough? Are you sure you can be trusted with this? Maybe you should just stop. When we bite that doubt, We build what I call grasping technology. Surveillance, because we doubt people will choose good if they aren't forced. Addictive algorithms, because we doubt that truth and beauty are compelling enough on their own. Replacement AI, because we doubt that humans have an inherent irreplaceable worth given by God. Books like The Shallows and Digital Minimalism show us the mental toll of this doubt-based building. It fragments us. It drains us. But when you create from a place of connection to your source, technology becomes a tool for unity and restoration. One path is exhausting. The other is effortless. Which one are you walking right now? How to reclaim your flow. So, how do we actually fix this? How do we widen that channel and get the pipes clean again? 1. Spot the blockage. Ask yourself, am I building this because I believe in my design, or because I'm trying to prove I'm valuable? If you're innovating to be somebody, your channel is restricted by your own ego. Acknowledge that fear and choose to believe you are already enough. 2. Renew your internal narrative. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This isn't just a nice thought. Your brain has a physical filter called the reticular activating system, RAS. It literally shows you the version of reality you've already decided to look for. If you believe you are a co-creator meant to heal the world, your brain will start to see solutions and patterns that were invisible to you when you were stuck in fear. 3. Create from rest, not stress. Hebrews 4:10 tells us that those who enter God's rest also rest from their own works. This is the secret to flow. When you stop trying to be godlike and simply start channeling God's creativity, the pressure vanishes. Conclusion. What will you build today? The tools we use, the AI models, the servers, the apps, they are just the pipes. If we build from fear, we'll build a digital prison. But if we widen our channel through belief, we allow loving grace to flow through us into everything we touch. The garden shows us what is possible. Work without friction, dominion without grasping, creation with ease. That's not a fairy tale. That is the state you were meant to live in. You weren't designed to create from a place of anxiety. You were designed to create from a place of rest. The friction you feel right now, that's not who you are. That's just the doubt talking. So, I want to hear from you. Drop one word in the comments. What is one truth you are choosing to believe about your work today? In our next video, we're going to look at the mustard seed actions you can take to keep your creative channel wide open every single morning. But for now, remember, technology isn't the enemy. Doubt is. And you were meant to build. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.